Hello everybody, it's that time of the day that I've been promising for the past couple of days. This is a complete test to anybody that's going to be watching this. Now, as it stands, I legitimately have no idea what the West Ham score was, what the scores are as of now. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go onto the old internet browser, as they say, and I'm going to click to find out what is going on right this second to see what's happening regarding all things Premier League. Now, this is quite an anxious moment for me because not only am I doing this live right now, and like I said, I know there are quite a few people that are interested just to see how it goes, so it's all loading up and everything. It's quite exciting for me. Now, annoyingly, my dad sent me a message. Now, we're both Burnley fans. Sent me a message that it was going well so far. So the screen's just come up, and so far it's telling me latest points 13. Right. So Aubameyang did nothing. Right. Okay. That's good because I know Jason Robertson and who else was it? Dan had Aubameyang as captain. He's done nothing. So I don't know, like I said, I don't know the West Ham result at the moment. So I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to find out. It ended 1-0. Yes, and Burnley are winning. Thank God. Burnley are winning. And of course, goals galore, 2-1. So I know, I do know that West Ham, it was Declan Rice that scored, and Nasri, of all players, that assisted. Liverpool 1-0. Right, I'm going to click on who scored. Was it Salah? Was it him? Yay or nay? And it was, of course it was. Salah scored, yeah, that was inevitable. But seeing here live, Robertson, the 3 bonus is going to be on. Van Dijk, Salah 2, Alexander-Arnold 1. Now on to the Burnley game. Fulham 2-1 to us. Blimey, own goals? That is extraordinary. That is amazing. When your luck's in for Fulham, your luck's in, and when your luck's not in, my goodness, 2 own goals and Hendrick, the guy that I was saying hasn't been performing that well of late, gets 2 assists. Right then, Cardiff 0-0, yeah, that's just right. Crystal Palace 1-1, yeah, of course. Watford were never going to keep a clean sheet, but let's find out. Another own goal. Cathcart, both scoring and getting an own goal. Kika Firmino getting a yellow card for me. Brilliant. Holobas assist. Now on to Leicester versus Southampton to finally do this. 2-1 to Southampton. Ward-Prowse and Long getting this. Pereira! An assist. Blimey, he's somebody that's coming on. Someone's coming on really, really well. So yeah, so the 3 people in the chat at the moment. Come on, Salah, Vince. I can actually see with even though my contacts are usually worn when I do this. I'm wearing my glasses now, and I've just seen Vince Chapman pop up. And yeah, Salah. It was obvious that he was going to score. He scored in their 1-0 victory the last time these two played. I keep banging on about this. I'm a history fan, and it was inevitable Salah was going to score. But what I'm more pleased about from a Torbe Elite fantasy perspective is that Jason captain Aubameyang. It means absolutely nothing, but it basically means that I'm kind of got the advantage of the fact that I've got my captain still. Now, obviously, games are going on live now. As it stands, I'm just looking at the FPL site regarding all points. So I'm now going to turn over onto BBC One, which is the only way that I can watch the old final score come in. I've actually completely forgotten because I'm so used to doing this after the games are finished. I've actually forgotten that this is actually still going on. So actually, Vince, you may be meaning that Salah has scored again. I've absolutely forgot about that. As it stands right now, I'm looking at it. Oh, Watford have just scored. Tom Cleverley, of all people. Would you believe that? Tom Cleverley has just scored for Watford. Okay, means absolutely nothing from a FPL perspective because I don't even know if Tom Cleverley even exists. But so I'm looking at this now. So yeah, all the games are exactly as they stand right now. I've just put the radio on as well, just in case any different scores come through potentially. But it's a bit loud at the moment. So what I'm going to do now is, well, there's a goal on FPL as it stands now. It's something to do with League 2. So I'm not going to bother worrying about that at the moment. So I'm going to go back and switch to the old FPL site. I'm going to keep the radio on just in case. I can see there's 29 points for John McEachran. Average is 29 at the moment. And Salah should have had the assist for a pen. Ah, okay, fair enough. So there should have been a penalty for Liverpool. Right. Well, my plans, we're going to go into more detail, obviously, for next week's podcast, but obviously we'll be discussing. But my plan is basically to get rid of Son. Well, he's going anyway. I'm bringing in Salah for Son, but the question is who to get rid of. Is it going to be Kane, Aubameyang, or Sterling? Or potentially, I may keep Aubameyang and Kane and get rid of Son, Felipe Anderson, and Sterling. But I don't know who specifically, in what particular order. But I'm going to wait for the games to end this game week. Although, knowing that Salah is probably going to price rise tonight, then there's a possibility that I will probably may have to make an early transfer. But if Kane does something tomorrow, then it's going to be a very, very difficult choice. So need to get a plan to get Son back in. Yes, but what I would say is that I know he's not going to be back for a minimum. I think it's going to be at least 2 or 3 game weeks, so I'm not too fussed. And I think the fact that I'll have Salah to replace him is going to be good enough for me. Aubameyang is captain. Yeah, that's Michael Swedlin there. Sorry if I haven't pronounced your name correctly. In the video that I posted up earlier on, I made this point that I had 3 captaincy options for my team. It was either going to be Aubameyang, Kane or Son. I don't own Salah, so it was quite obvious that if I didn't have Salah, then I'm going to have to captain one of them 3. I always base it on the fact that, simply put, I go on either recent history, either this season, literal recent history, what these players have been doing over the past 5 or 6 game weeks, and then I kind of then break it down into away and home form. Of the 3, for me, Kane was the best option. Aubameyang's away form, in fact, I can actually look now because funny enough, the game was updating and I didn't realise what the time was, and Aubameyang's away form isn't particularly great. So away at West Ham, he's done nothing. Away at Liverpool, he did nothing. Away at Brighton, he scored a goal. And over the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 fixtures, he's been involved in 1, 2, 3, 4 away fixtures and he scored 1 goal. It's at home you want to be captaining Aubameyang, if anything. Kane and Son, on the other hand, it's a bit of a 50-50 split for me. And it basically came down to the fact that Kane has scored more points / goals / assists than Son has at home. So it's quite a simple choice of sticking it on Kane. I was kind of thinking Sterling due to his home form, but I thought of recent times he hasn't been performing that well at all. He's got 2 assists over the last 2 games, but to be honest with you, I'm not really that keen at the moment. So I'm going to quickly flip back to final score at the moment, see what's going on, see if anything's happened so far. Again, I am aware that people are kind of chatting in the chat room and everything. I've got 5 people viewing. It's better than 0, I suppose. But the point being is that I'm fully aware that this is just, this is just a test, basically a test dummy to see what's going on. And, oh, it's a Salah penalty. Right. Okay, I'm assuming that Milner isn't playing today then. Right, Salah penalty again. What a surprise. Again, if you haven't got him, I would say he's near on a central, personally. But going back to what I was saying, this is just a pure tester to see how it all goes on. I'm fully aware you're literally just looking at a man staring at a TV screen, reacting to everything that's going on in the last, well, we've got 8 minutes plus stoppage time left. To see what happens in 3 p.m. kickoffs plus what happened at 12:30. But what I would say is that I'm now going to go back to the good old Fantasy Scout site, and I'm now going to look at the talk. In fact, you know what? Out of the kindness of Kane's form is dependent on Son. Right, I can't read all your message there, Evan Chowdhury, but what I will say is that you're completely bang on the money. And that's probably the reasoning which is tipping my transfer in favour of getting rid of Kane instead of Aubameyang or one of Sterling or whatever combination that I'm thinking of doing, because like you've just rightly said, when Son wasn't playing and Moray was, Kane's points were, let's be honest here, they were terrible. They weren't brilliant whatsoever. So I'm thinking, well, Moray's going to be the most likely player to be replacing Son when he leaves for the next few game weeks. So looking at both guys' fixtures, I think Aubameyang's just edge it just. But the fact that they lost 1-0 to West Ham, God, that is a terrible result considering their history against West Ham is absolutely outstanding. So I'm going to, out of respect to the guys that are watching this, because I know you're the hardcore Elite FPL fans, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the Elite FPL Podcast League. Straight away I'm going to go to the god, no disrespect to anybody, but let's be honest here, the god that is Jack Gleeson. He was 190th in the world, 167th. So he's 167th in the world as it stands as of last game week. He's on 25 points. Captain Salah. He's got Robertson playing at the moment. If you want to play along and watch as we're doing this right now, then I have Fabianski. Vince Chapman has got Fabianski, and funny enough, a popular podcast channel. Do you know what? I'm going to name check him. Let's Talk FPL Andy. I really, really enjoy it. He has been having a lot of doubts about Fabianski, and it's just one of those game weeks when he turns up. Let's be honest here, he's turned up today. Happy days. So anyway, but Jack Gleeson, of course, as it stands live now, Schindler on the bench, and that's 5 points there, just staring at him. But then again, he's still got, oh no, I suppose Wan-Bissaka has played. Yeah, blimey, Wan-Bissaka's played. He played Wan-Bissaka today. Ooh, but yeah, he's got Captain Salah. It looks like Salah's going to get 2 bonus points. So if we go back and look at second place, which is Paul Wickett. Now again, we're going to cover the majority of all this predominantly tomorrow. So Paul Wickett, Vince Chapman's mate, Fabianski's got in goal. Captain Salah. I mean, to be honest with you, most people who have Salah, I don't mean to be rude, but if you have got Salah and you didn't captain him, I don't know why you're playing FPL. But a lot of the people that are going to be watching this are going to be quite high performing players, let's be honest here. And Wan-Bissaka getting 3 bonus points. Hey Steve, even though you can't read this, I can read it. Hi Brett Mollison, hello there. 12:30 in the afternoon. It's been going well so far, to be fair. I'm just looking at the Elite FPL podcast, in fact, league that is. So I just looked at Paul Wickett. He had 30 points, doing really well so far. Let's scroll all the way down to your team, Brett. Oh, Vince Chapman's in 43rd in our league. Let's have a quick look. I've just come across him just now. I'll have a quick read of his team. Yep, 30 points. There it is. Fabianski in goal. Oh, you got Aguero. You took an 8-point hit as well, Vince. Right, okay. Well, let's have a look at the transfers that you made. May as well make this interesting. I always like looking at people's transfers, what they've done. It always makes it interesting. So you got rid of Robertson, Son and Kane. Brought in Aguero, Salah and Alexander-Arnold. Absolutely brilliant. That is a superb switch, if I'm honest with you. Although, I was advising my friend Nick Reed to, not that means anything to anybody here, but a friend of mine, Nick Reed, he hit the wildcard button last game week and he just wanted to get my advice on who to bring in. And there was various options up for grabs regarding the front 3, but he always wants premium strikers, but he definitely wanted Salah. And I said, you know what? Go with Aguero, but the fact that he was yellow flagged, and even though Aguero's key to everything Man City do, so to speak, I advised him to get Firmino. Only as a differential, and Firmino's form as of late has been really good. As it stands right now, it looks like he should have gone with Aguero, but Vince, your transfers, I've got to say, for a -8, well, so far it's paid off. You're already +8. Well, actually, I can't even work out what you'd be on at the moment. Obviously, Son and Kane haven't played yet, so... But yeah, it looks so far like it will pay off. But again, so Brett, we're going to look at your team. I've just seen that you've just No, don't look at my team. Well, I'm gonna have to, mate, because obviously I know you're in the 40s, but I don't actually specifically know where specifically you are in our league, because our league is absolutely, I say ginormous. I mean, how many people are in it? 64. So that's actually a further 8 or 9 teams more than our Torbay Elite League, and I can't even see you on the second page. Oh, there you are, 55th. But this is your first season, so it doesn't really matter. I won't be panicking. So you're on 17 points, but to be honest here, you've still got 2, 4, 6, 7 players left. Allison, Alexander-Arnold got your defensive return straight away. Really good team there. I'd question your Ali choice. I'm surprised you got Ali in there. Camara, Jimenez and Doherty on the bench. Yeah, makes sense, I suppose. Ali though, if Aubameyang failure captain. I mentioned earlier that away form isn't particularly great, but of the options that you have got, I'm surprised you didn't go with Hazard. You know, there's a lot of information. A lot of information. I know there's a lot of tip sites out there. We're not a tip site at all, but it's one of those where unfortunately a lot of people were going with either Hazard or Salah, and right now Salah's got his goal and he's going to be on for a minimum of 2 bonus points. So I'm going to go back to thinking it's still nil Cardiff and Huddersfield, and we're looking at still 1-0 to Liverpool. Sorry, I've completely lost all the things here. Again, this isn't Gillette Soccer Saturday or anything like that, as you can tell straight away. But I'm going to quickly just put the radio on a bit, see if anything's happening at Burnley. But it looks like at the moment nothing's really going on the Premier League games, and it really could. Me personally, as a Burnley fan, I really just end now. I just want the game to end now, finish it. So that was Tom. So the last Premier League goal scored while we've gone live has been Tom Cleverley's goal, and that was his first goal since 2017. But again, doesn't really affect anything regarding anything to do with fantasy football because no one would own him. But straight on to the Elite FPL podcast like we were looking at. So we'll go on to third spot, which was, of course, Jason Robertson. But do you know what? I'll just skip over Jason because he's part of the crew, and I'd rather feature on members of the community, so to speak. So Ryan Malone. Now, if this is Ryan that was commenting on our Instagram page, I think it was. I'm not quite sure, but Instagram at Elite FPL, just basic updates of when we go live, what we're doing, etc., etc. If you want to follow us. But Ryan Malone, 32 points, he's 4th in the league at the moment. Fabianski adding goal. Fair play to you. That's his only playing goalkeeper, so well done to him there. Robertson, he had Chambers, but I wonder if Chambers is playing. If he is playing, I'll be very happy with that because obviously that would be fantastic as a rival. And he is playing today and he got 0 points, so he must have got a yellow card today. He must have done. I'm sure if I quickly click down here, we will find out that he did get a yellow card, and I'm sure as it comes up now, yeah, he got a yellow card, Chambers. I'm still surprised Hendrick got 2 assists. I don't even know what the teams are, to be honest with you. Do you know what? What I'm going to do is I'm going to skip over and look at... I always use, probably what a lot of people use is livescore.com. And I'm just going to quickly look at the Burnley team, just for my own personal thing. This means absolutely nothing regarding FPL-wise, but I would like to know, if I'm honest with you... Oh, we went down. Fulham scored first. Oh, that's not good, but getting 2 in goals. So did Dwight McNeil? He did start good. I'm glad about that. Yeah, Jeff Hendrick, yeah, up front. Ashley Barnes, of course, the very, very popular player to be bringing in at the moment. I actually, not that it really affects anything to do with anything, but Tom Heaton starts. Brilliant. I think. Do you know what, Tom Heaton? I said about Stephen Ward being a potential defensive player, 2 goals in 3 minutes. Yes, I've just seen that, Vince. Thank you. I'm just looking there. I did mention Stephen Ward as a potential defensive option to choose from Burnley, but the fact that he hasn't played today, and Dyche does like to stick to a standard team, the usual players all the time, I think maybe back off. But Tom Heaton, absolutely, definitely get onto that. Anything going live? No. I think personally the games may all end now the way they are, unless something dramatic happens in the next 10 minutes or something, which I doubt it will. But going back to Ryan's team, sorry about this. Hey! We won. That's our third game and fourth game in a row. Three games. Oh, hold on a minute. Sorry. Oh, that's Liverpool. Sorry, Liverpool's ended. Sorry. Oh, that's embarrassing, isn't it? Liverpool have won 1-0. It's ended. Yeah, no, we've just won. Ah, brilliant. It's just ended 2-1. That's our third win in a row in the Premier League. I think it's the first time we've ever done. Burnley are sent. No, not at all. I wouldn't say we're essential players, but I would. It's a tough one. I would avoid anything to do with Burnley unless you're really desperate for cash. I'd invest in Dwight McNeil as a fifth playing midfielder. I would highly recommend investing in fact, funny enough, one of the potential transfers I was thinking of doing was actually downgrading Tom Cairney to Dwight McNeil and then upgrading potentially Sterling to Salah. And like I said, Felipe Anderson, I'd be able to get a higher quality player. But again, I don't want to be talking about that just now. Palace loses. What was that? Sorry, I don't know if someone. I just read on chat that Palace loses. I don't think, unless that means Wan-Bissaka loses his bonus points. I don't know. Oh, bonus points. Right. Okay, so the bonus points there are being lost for Wan-Bissaka. And like I said, it just appears that everything's going to end up the way it is at the moment. I can't see being any late goals. And yeah, all the games have ended. It's just Crystal Palace, Watford game. And it looks like it's going to end 2-1, to be honest with you. So to be honest, it looks like the end of this podcast virtually. But I'll just continue for a second just chatting because I want to see how everything's going regarding live, the league tables and anything that we need to look at just for the sake of chatting for 2 minutes. But it appears that there's still quite a lot of players to play. So virtually looks like that anybody with treble Liverpool, particularly the popular choice of a double up in defence and Mo Salah, are going to have done well. I think there's been a popular treble up with Fabianski, Robertson and Salah today. Certainly this is what Ryan Malone has got with 32 points at the moment. I'll quickly go down to Graham Barker. Sorry, I've got the radio on at the moment. They're at the Crystal Palace game, but I can't see anything happening there at the moment. Crystal Palace on the attack. I really don't think anything's going to come about of this. But Graham Barker, Captain Hazard. Oh, he had Etheridge in goal. So he's got 7 points from Etheridge, which is really, really good. Robertson. And he has got Mane. So he's got the Mane, Salah and Robertson treble up, sorry. Zabaleta on the bench. That's expected. That's not a surprise whatsoever. I'm assuming the Chelsea news is in. Chelsea team news would probably be at the moment. Updated team with all your leagues. Yeah, unfortunately I can't do any of this. I'm just on a PlayStation 4. I haven't got any apps, anything. I have to do this all completely live as I'm doing it right now. But it looks like Crystal Palace are going to end with a 2-1 loss again. Surprise, surprise. And right now I'm on. So I look at quickly my team again. Yeah, I'm going to end up 13 points with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, with 6 players left and my captain. Am I happy with that? It's with the players that I've got playing, it's expected. I think that it looks like Robertson's going to get the 3. He is going to get the 3 bonus. So Salah's going to get 1 bonus point. Van Dijk's going to get 2. Robertson getting 3. So I've just turned the radio off just to, not that anybody cares, but it's going to completely put me off. But it appears from my assessment as of now, I think that moving forward, I think the best bet would be to be going with double Liverpool defence. And if you remember, guys, any of the hardcore listeners or followers that watch this, you'll know about my hard luck story. FPL Boona, if you're watching this, you'll know about our hard luck story and the way we play this game. And there was all this logic for me about playing the double up of Robertson and TAA. I had them for 4 instead of having Salah. I had them for 4 matches. They played once together. and I don't even think they even got a clean sheet. Oh no, they did get a clean sheet of that. I think that was the game against Burnley. The irony against my own team. They got. No, they didn't even get a clean sheet in that. It was whatever the game was. They had one double up together, and they got me a clean sheet. I remember that much, and I was absolutely raging on the following podcast because it's just like, what if they had started together on the previous 3 matches? They started individually, but Klopp would. I think he rested Trent Alexander twice and Robertson once over that period. But do you know about LiverpoolFC.net rank and then put in your? I probably do know about. I've heard it somewhere, but it doesn't really. Oh, yes, that's a website that Jason uses. It's, for me, the only time I would probably use that is if I've got time on my hands. Living where I do with the busy work that I have, this is literally just a one-off. And for anybody that's watching right now, I don't want to bore anybody that's been watching from the start. This is purely a tester to see how this particular stream goes, reacting live during the end of the second half, the last 10, 15, 20 minutes of the second half today. Now, I said at the time that the matches weren't particularly of interest. Obviously, with my players, I dropped to 7,000 according... Oh, God, unlucky, Michael, there. What rank were you, Michael? I don't know if I'll see the comment when you put up, but if you can respond straight away, that would be very, very interesting. I'm assuming that you're quite high up in the ranks anyway, to be disappointed that you dropped to 7,000th. But, yeah, again, I don't know where... If you are in the Elite FPL League, then by all means... and let me know where your place is, your rank is within the Elite FPL League, and I'll more than happy bring up the team. But so yeah, I'm on 13 points, but I'm just going to quickly look at the Torbay Elite League. That is what I have. Do you have Hazard or a big? I'm not. Oh yeah, just reminding me, Vince. Thank you for reminding me. I want to look at the team news of Chelsea now. It's pretty blinking obvious that Hazard's going to start. The question is though, will Morata or Giroud have started? That's the question. I don't think they will do, and no. So Eden Hazard's up front, Pedro and Willian on the flanks. It's as expected, isn't it? There's no obvious standout like, wow, what on earth's going on here? Newcastle, no one's interested in them. So, right, okay. So Newcastle by livescore.com, they're reckoning they're going to go with a 5-4-1. Chelsea the usual 4-3-3. I predicted a 3-0 win, but the problem is that Chelsea can't score. That's the problem, and listening to a lot of Chelsea fans, they're seriously concerned about the fact that they can't score at the moment. Hazard can create as many chances. I mean, the game against Tottenham the other day created plenty. Was there anybody at the end of the... was 5,000th, so Michael was 5,000 down to 7,000th. I'm 45th in the World FPL polls. I chose Hazard as captain. That's I think it was Delvin. Sorry, the chat quickly disappeared. But I'm personally just going to quickly look at the Torbay Elite Cash Mini League. And Jason is atop of that, as we all know. Jason is on 26 points. Fabianski in goal. Fair play. Yeah, that's his only playing goalkeeper. Had Wan-Bissaka playing. So he's got Digne yet. So he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 players left. He had Aubameyang as captain, but against me as differentials, he's got 2 differentials ahead of me. That's okay. That's not a problem at all. He's not really my rival within this mini league, but that doesn't really matter. Again, I know. Just to reiterate, I'm sorry to keep banging on about this. This is just a pure tester, and I'm fully aware that you're just staring at me. Talking FPL while I'm looking through the league on the screen at the moment. But next time, if we were to, well, not specifically me, I keep banging on about this. It's very unlikely it's going to be me. But certainly, if you want to leave comments to say this is rubbish, this is brilliant, this is really enjoyable, what you could do is this instead. What would help myself, Jason and Dan, for research purposes only, again this is just a tester for research purposes only, is if you could leave us a comment on the YouTube page Or if you don't want to have a name check or be recognised, or you know what I mean, if you go to our Instagram page, which is at Elite FPL, you can direct message us there and we can take your feedback on board. We can pass it on to each other, discuss what you think. And I've already used my 2 free chances. I did run into Rashford straight after 4 times stun to Salah. I didn't quite catch all that, but all I saw was stun to Salah. But clearly you've done something else there. Again, I've already said Salah's essential. I think you'd be mad not to have him in, anybody to not have him in your team, personally. But it's a bad game week, isn't it, to be judging Harry Kane, to be honest with you, because he's going to be with Son. So I said this earlier on, that me personally, I think that Kane's going to get me something. I reckon he's going to get me a minimum of a goal. I personally believe that Tottenham are going to beat United. Based on home and away fixture form, it looks like it could be a high-scoring game. And it looks like it's going to be something like 3-2 to Tottenham, maybe 2-1 to Tottenham. I would say a 2-2 draw, but Tottenham, this is an extraordinary statistic. Tottenham are the only team in the top 10 leagues in the English league ladder, to still not draw a game, which I think is quite extraordinary, to be honest with you there. But that being said, so I'm going to quickly look at second place in the Torbay Elite Mini League spot, which is Ben Towler. At the moment, he's on 16 points. Oh, we have Ben Foster, 4 points, more save points it looks like. Let's have a look how many save points. He got 6. That's somebody to look at. How much is Ben Foster? I'm going to assume, in fact, I think I know, he's 4.5, isn't he? I'm sure he is. He's 4.5. Let's have a look. I'll just bring up his information right now. And the answer is 4.5. And let's have a look at his fixtures then. You know what? Ben Foster, their fixtures are terrible actually. They're very... If you're looking for a player to potentially replace Patrizio that gets rare clean sheets, let alone save points, even I'm looking at now thinking maybe Ben Foster. Right, okay, so Ben Foster got 4 points for Ben. Ben's got 3 differentials to me. He's got Hazard as captain, but his transfer that he brought in was Calvert-Lewin. He got rid of Danny Ings and brought in Calvert-Lewin. I was very perplexed by this because Calvert-Lewin is just absolutely terrible. You know, yeah. When it comes to football ability, yes, he could put me to shame. But when it comes to, let's be honest here, the standards of what he needs to be, not exactly a great FPL option. And looking at his team, he's got Martial on the bench. So, yeah, not that great. But, sorry, just to say, guys, that, yeah, this is just a pure tester. If you have any constructive feedback for us, or, well, yeah, for me or Jason or Dan, just leave a comment in the YouTube comment section. And like I said, if you want to remain anonymous, in the sense of not on YouTube, but you could send us a private message on Instagram. By all means, it's at Elite FPL. We will take your feedback on board. This is just a pure tester to see how everything's going at the moment. But again, I just find it ironic that the matches today, and I did say they are pretty bad to be covering live right now, basically. But whatever, there's nothing... everybody, the king is here. Jack Glee, hello Jack. He is here. Good afternoon, Jack. I'm just going to look at Darren Monday's team now. He's 3rd in our Torbay Elite Mini League. And he is on 29 points. It's a very good total. He's got... See, you're looking at my live reaction straight away. Joe Hart on the bench. Joe Hart starting. Who's he got on the bench? Fabianski. Now Darren Monday, no one knows him. I don't. I know him as just as an acquaintance, and I know nobody on the chat will know him. But when your luck's in, and that is extraordinary. He's gone with a 5-4-1. He's benched Fraser and Jimenez. He's got Danny Ings. His main front runner at the moment is Wilson. So he's going with 3 really cheap strikers in Wilson, Jimenez and Ings. Salah is his captain. Okay, so let's, forgetting all that aside, I can discuss all this in the proper podcast. So he's still got Wilson, Pogba, Sane, Hazard, Digne and Luiz to play. And of course Fabianski on the bench. So what I always do when I'm going from my mind is, right, within my mini league, the cash mini league this is, who's got the advantage? And straight away, Darren Monday is going to be challenging Jason. Now, admittedly, Darren is about 50 odd points off Jason off top. But Darren's going to catch Jason. So I don't know if Jason's in the chat. I have no idea at all. I very much doubt it. He's only just landed from South Africa today. And I don't think he'll be watching this. Now, on to Connor Lee's team, who's 5th. Now, to be honest with you, that's just more of a rival for me. He's on 22 points. Still got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players left, but 1, 2, 3, 4 are differentials, and yeah, no, 3 of them are differentials, and 2 of them are defenders, Walker and Alonso. But Walker may not even play. He hasn't been playing that regular, so Wan-Bissaka would be coming off the bench if anybody. So I'm going to finally look at Dan's team. Of course, isn't here. Let's have a look at Dan's, shall we? Now, Dan's team is very, very similar to mine, barring the fact that his defence is slightly different. So, yeah, he went with Aubameyang as captain as well. He went with Aubameyang as captain. He's still got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players left to play. Alexander-Arnold in there with his clean sheet. Wan-Bissaka getting the 1 point. For once, Dan hasn't got any points on the bench as it stands. But of course, I wouldn't say Deulofeu was a troll, but he and Pereira... I wonder if Pereira got assisted today. If he did, this is going to... Oh, it was just Holibas. Right, okay, so no one actually assisted Cleverly's goal. Right, that's interesting. Oh, Pereira got a yellow card today as well. Right, okay, that's yeah. Deulofeu and Pereira just seem to be the trolls of FPL this year. But they're the kind of players where if you've got them, you've just got to play them every week because their point scoring is so sporadic. But yeah, there's nothing much I can really add here. I was just saying that we'll just quickly look at the old Elite FPL again. Just quickly have a quick breeze through. We'll look at Mickey Swedlin. Now, I'm pretty sure Mickey or Mike Swedin, are you in the chat at the moment? I'm pretty sure you are. You're 7th in the Elite FPL at the moment. You're on 24 points. You took a 4-point hit. Oh, you're captain Aubameyang. In fact, I'm pretty sure I've just covered your team, haven't I? I'm looking at your team now. But let's have a look at the transfers that you did. I wonder if there's anybody left in the cup. We found out, actually, funny enough, that the furthest cup runner within our Torbay Elite Mini League turned out to be a friend of mine, Pete Andrews. It means nothing to anybody watching this runner. Patterson and Shaqiri out for Puncheon and Mane. God. My goodness, the most differential... I think... congratulations, Mickey, Mikey, however you want to be pronounced. You have won the award for the most differential transfers ever. Shaqiri out for Puncheon, Patterson out for Mane. I mean, that must be a total ownership of about 3%, if that. Quite extraordinary there. Yeah, I'm just going to quickly look at the Torbay Elite Mini League and my friend Pete Andrews, because like I said, he's got the furthest in a cup, so he's basically won a tenner. He doesn't have to pay to get into the league next year. And that will be fascinating next year when we have to do a paid league, and I'm sure you lot will all want to join in, and that basically means that I am going to have to take this league even more serious than what I'm doing now. So Pete, is he still in the cup? That's the question. And the simple answer is, as it stands, no. He's been completely battered by a dead team. And you know he's a dead team because this is his starting 11. Edison, yep, that's perfectly fine. Mende, brilliant. Van Dijk, Azpilicueta, Alonso, and then he's got Decore. You know it's a dead team when he's got Salah as captain and Decore as vice. Mane, Pereira, Camara, and Arnautovic. So it looks like Pete, despite the fact he has now won the furthest cup run in our Torbay Elite Mini League, he's going to be knocked out, would you believe, by a dead team. Now, I'm going to deliberately look at this guy's transfer history to see if he's done any transfers over the past. So the last time this guy did any transfers was in game week 5. And a bit like you, Mickey, it was the most differential you could do. It was Lloris out for Edison. Wow. I mean, I'm looking at this guy's transfers out. When you've got names like Stevens, Smalling, Llorente, you kind of know what you're up against there. And that is Pete, mate. I know you're not watching this. And I know you won't even watch this, but that is just absolute you. So, I think this is what I want to ask of you guys, really, which is quite simply this. Brett Mollison, look, yeah. Well, funny you say that, Brett, because Jack has only played this game for, unless he's been a bit dodgy and he's deleted a load of accounts, but Jack's history in this game is quite extraordinary. Again, if anybody's got a computer in front of them, laptop, iPad, whatever you want to use, Jack's FPL history is just quite extraordinary. His first season was something like 500,000th in the world. The following season, he ended up 527,000th was in the 2016-17 season. Last season, he ended up 165,000th. And now, as it stands, he's 167th in the world. Again, hell of an achievement. And you think people like myself, yourself, Brett, anybody that's watching this now, anybody that's going to watch it later on, anybody that's going to watch it over the next week, you think you're stressing out about the positioning that you're in, whether it's trying to, like me, trying to stay in the top 4 of a cash mini league because potentially I could win money. You think I've got it bad, or you're 10th in a league and you just want to have a respectable position. Jack's 167th. A couple of weeks ago, on a Saturday evening, he was 22nd in the whole world, and it's just amazing. And I want to say this now live while he's in the chat room. It's a genuine privilege that you take time out to watch this, and it's not just Jack. It's any of you guys that are watching this right now. Is a genuine privilege and honour and respect for myself that you guys are actually taking time out to just watch me on the screen as I record on my mobile phone, staring at a TV at fantasy football. Occasionally I'd have final score on, but again, I'm not going to go over it, but it wasn't exactly the most thrilling of matches to cover the last 20 minutes. I don't even think we got a goal. I think you got my reaction to the final score of the Burnley game, even though it was the Liverpool final, followed by the final result of Burnley, which was wasn't exactly quite the Doherty or the Digne goal that went in. But so Jack, just to quickly cover, you've got Jimenez left. I'm stating the obvious because obviously you know your team. If anybody wants to bring it up, it's just quite a simple case of just bringing up Torbay Elite Mini League, and Jimenez still left to play against City. We all know what Wolves are like up against the top dogs, although I think City, I think they're going to batter them. I honestly think that City is going to be 3, maybe 4. I think they're going to get their own back. I think they're going to put away the chances that they should have done at Molineux, to be honest with you. And I can see it being 3-0, 3-1, something like that. But they can't keep a clean sheet, so apart from unless it's against a League One team or a Championship team. But yeah, I can see that being 3, maybe 4 goals to City. You never know, Jimenez may get an assist or a goal, but that wouldn't surprise me. Martial up against Tottenham. Of course, Tottenham were reportedly considering getting him in. may want to prove a point. I doubt it, but it's, like I said, I can see goals in that. Son, he was a potential captain choice for me, so I can see returns coming from Son. I think Kane and Son are going to return similar. I think, to be honest, again, I'm stating the obvious here. I think Son and Kane are just going to have some fun against that United back four. It's just my opinion. It could end up 1-0 to United. It could end up 1-0 to Tottenham, and it's Eric Dier that scores the goal. But I've already stated that this game week was the perfect game week to captain Salah, really. Hazard in this game, yeah, I can see him getting a couple of assists, a goal and assist. I can see him getting a double-digit haul against Newcastle, why not? And then Dean, you're at home to Bournemouth, but I actually predicted 3-3 in that game. I went with another goals galore game for Bournemouth and Everton, and Everton just don't know how to defend. So Dean, I think it's just the assist potential. But certainly, yeah, we will go into all this in the preview. I think I'm going to end it there, guys. I'm going to end it with this by saying thank you for watching this. A complete live tester to see how it would go. So, as I end on this note, I just want to say that if you have any feedback for what I've just done, whether it's negative or positive, but to be fair, we don't get any negative feedback, and I think the people that watch this podcast have how can I put this politely? I think you've got a brain. I think you've yeah, thank you. I didn't catch the name, but I appreciate the thanks there. I think that the people watching this, you've got a head on, basically, and you're not trolls, and I think you genuinely do respect the effort that myself, Jason and Dan put into this. This is, for me, just a complete one-off. I'm not working today. It was just a spare of the moment thought. I deliberately put a video up yesterday on YouTube asking you guys, out of respect, to tell me if you think it's a good idea. We were inundated with positive feedback just to say give it a go, despite the fact that I did explain that there'd be no screen share, nothing on screen whatsoever. And I've completely lost my train of thought. But yes, it's just to say thank you for watching. If anybody's in the chat now, or anybody that's watching this now that is enjoying what I've just done, hit the subscribe button, because we're just going to do more and more of this content. It's, like I said, it's a podcast aimed for people, like Brett Mollison said, that are going through the emotional roller coaster of playing fantasy football. We are not a tipster site. You can listen to the way me, Jason and Dan speak. You can speak to the guys in chat. They all have a respectful opinion. They all have their own ideas and everything. But at the end of the day, like I said, it's down to our own decisions. And we all stress about who to be captain here and there. But if we all followed the tip sites, everybody would just be doing the same, and just everybody would stagnate. And that's my vision for this personally, is that for the Elite FPL podcast is to I can see it just keep growing with the community that we've got of you guys, of friendly, informative people that just enjoy fantasy football. And you're not there, this is the key thing here, you're not there for selfish purposes. You're there for your own reasonings, and it's clearly working. But that speech out the way, any feedback, let me know. Just hit the comment section below. Hit the Instagram page at Elite FPL. Send us a message privately what you think. But what I will let you guys know is that I've personally really enjoyed this. The next time this was to ever happen, I would probably say it's going to be Jason doing solo, and I keep banging on about this. Jason's the tech guy, he's got the high-end equipment, he's got the laptop, the PC, he's got the screen share, he's got everything. So he will have the whole presentation up at the time, and he's the guy that does all the, I call him the producer really, because that's what he does. He's the one that when me and Dan are speaking, he's quite simply the one that deals with all the chat and gives us the questions that you guys are asking. Right then, I'm going to sign out. It looks like this has been a bit of fun. People have clearly enjoyed it. The good news is that the three of us will be back up and running as per normal tomorrow evening. Now, the United game I think finishes approximately 6 p.m. our time, so UK time. So Brett, it's going to be what, 2-3 o'clock in the morning, if of course you're going to be wanting to watch. But the point we're standing is that we will be doing this tomorrow. We'll be going live 5-10 minutes after the United game finishes, but obviously we will let you guys know what's going on via our Instagram page. And yeah, we will see you tomorrow at approximately 6 p.m. UK time. This has been fun. I'm going now, and thank you for watching, and I mean that. And the three of us will see you tomorrow evening, and we will discuss all of today, everything that happened between Everton, Bournemouth, United and Spurs, and of course the fact that I've got my captain playing in that game is going to be heart-wrenching. But to be honest with you, I think Kane's going to do me something, but we're not going to keep talking like that. I'm going. Take it easy. Thank you, everybody. Cheers, Brett. Thank you. We will all see you tomorrow. Cheers. Thank you. Goodbye.